Welcome back, students, to this lecture of mechatronics. So, in the last class, we have covered the SC motors. Okay, so this is our last part of the chapter number 3, and in this section, we will cover the stepper motor and servo motors. Okay, so first let's discuss about the stepper motor. So, a stepper motor is a special type of DC motor. Okay, it is a special type of DC motor and it is an incremental motion machine. Okay, it is a permanent magnet or variable reluctance DC motor and it has the different types of following characteristics. Okay, basically stepper motor is two types. One is PM, permanent magnet stepper motor, and variable reluctance stepper motor. Okay, so what are the characteristics of stepper motor? So first point, it can rotate in both the direction. Second, it can move in precise angular increments, means step by step. It can sustain a holding torque at zero speed. Next, it can be controlled with digital circuits. Okay, so a stepper motor moves in accurate equal angular increments, that is known as steps. Okay, step by step equal angular motions it can move in response to the application of digital pulse to an electric drive circuit. So generally stepper motors are manufactured with steps per revolution of 12, 24, 72, 144, 180 and 200, resulting shaft increments of, means these are the steps per revolution, and the angle means the resulting shaft increments of 30 degree, 15 degree, 5 degree, 2.5 degree, 2 degree and 1.8 degree per step. Okay, so stepper motors are either bipolar, means it requires two power source, or unipolar, means it requires only one power source. Okay, so next move to the construction and working of stepper motor, then we'll go to PM stepper motor. Okay, so see here the construction and working of stepper motor. Okay, so a stepper motor consists of a slotted starter having multi-pole, multi-phase winding and a rotor structure carrying which has no winding. Okay, so what I said, it consists of a slotted stator having multi-pole, multi-phase winding, but the rotor has no winding. Second, the rotors may be of the permanent magnet or variable reluctance types. I have already told you it operates with the external drive logic circuit. Okay, so now we will discuss the permanent magnet stepper motor. Okay, now students, you can see in the figure there are I have drawn two figures. One is figure number 1 and figure number 2. Figure number 1 represents the phase 1 and figure 2 represents the phase 2. So what happens, look here. In the case of permanent magnet stepper motor, the starter, okay, consists of wound poles and the rotor poles are permanent magnets. Okay, means the inner one is your rotor and outer one is your what, starter. Okay, clear? Inner one is your rotor and outer circle is your starter. So outer circle starter, it has windings of poles and rotor has permanent magnet. Okay, so this figure implements the phases of a two phase 4 pole permanent magnet stepper motor. Okay, so the rotor, means the inner part, is made of ferrite or rare earth material Okay, which is permanently magnetized. Okay, the stator stack of phase 2 is staggered from that of phase 1 by an angle of 90 degree. When phase 1 is excited, the rotor is aligned as shown in figure number 1. If now phase 2 is also excited, okay, if now phase 2 is also excited, the effective stator poles shift anticlockwise by 22.5 degree as shown in figure number 2, and it causes the rotor to move accordingly. Now, keeping the phase 2 still energized, if the phase 1 is now de-energized, the rotor will move another step of 22.5 degree. Okay, the reversal of phase 1 winding current will produce a further forward movement of 22.5 degree and so on. Okay, means it will move step by step. Next, go to variable reluctance stepper motor. Okay, see here. Okay, a variable reluctance stepper motor has no permanent magnet on the rotor, and the rotor employed is a ferromagnetic multi-toothed one. Okay, you can see in the figure. Okay, the large differences in magnetic reluctances that exist between the direct and quadrature axes develop the torque. The stationary field developed by the direct current in some stator coils tend to develop a torque which causes the rotor to move to the position where the reluctance of the flux path is minimum. Okay, when an opposite pair of windings has current switched to them, a magnetic field is produced with the lines of force which pass from the stator poles through the nearest set of poles on the rotor. Since lines of force can be considered to be rather like elastic thread and always trying to shorten themselves, the rotor will move until the rotor and stator poles line up. This term it is called as the position of minimum reluctance. Okay, so students, next we will go to the specification of stepper motor. Okay, there are various specification. See one by one. First one is phase. What is phase? This term refers to the number of independent windings on the stator. Okay, next, step angle. So this is the angle through which the rotor rotates for one switching change for the stator coils. Okay, next, third one is your holding torque. So this is the maximum torque that can be applied to a powered motor without moving it from its rest position and causing spindle rotation. Next, pull in torque. This is the maximum torque against which a motor will start. Okay, next, pull out torque. This is the maximum torque that can be applied to a motor. Sixth, it is pull in rate. Okay, this is the maximum switching rate at which a loaded motor can start without losing a step. Okay, last one, pull out rate. What is this? This is the switching rate at which a loaded motor will remain synchronism as the switching rate is reduced. Okay, so this completes your stepper motor. Now moves to servo motors. Okay, let me show you the figure first. See, this is the figure of servo motor. Here is the input. Input connected to the error detector. It goes to the then amplifier, then servo motor, and then output. And servo motor has a feedback loop to the error detector. Okay, what happens? You can see the statements here, and you can understand. The servo motors are special electromechanical devices that produce precise degree of rotation. Okay, first point clear. Second, a servometer is a DC or AC or bushless DC motor combined with the position sensing device. Next, servo motors are also called control motors as they are involved in controlling a mechanical system. The servo motors are used in a closed loop servo system. So, a reference input is sent to the servo amplifier which controls the speed of the servo motor, and a feedback device is mounted on the machine which is either an encoder or resolver. So this device changes mechanical motion into electrical signals and is used as the feedback. The feedback is sent to the error detector which compares the actual operation with that of the reference input. Okay, if there is an error, that error is fed directly to the amplifier which will be used to make necessary corrections. Okay. Okay, I am reading that point. I am saying that point. If there is an error, that error is fed directly to the amplifier which will be used to make necessary corrections in control action in and in many servo systems both velocity and position are monitored. So servo motors provide accurate speed, accurate torque and have ability to of direct control. Now you can see the figure and you can understand the concept of servometer. So servometer is similarly two types. One is DC servometer and another one is AC servometer. So what is DC servometer? So these DC servometers are usually respond to error signal and accelerate the load quickly. It consists of DC motor, gear assembly, position sensing device and control circuit. Okay, so next move to AC servometer. So the magnetic force in AC servometer, the magnetic force is generated by the permanent magnet and current which further produce the torque. Okay, which further produces the torque. It has no bushes, so there is some noise or vibrations. Okay, it provides high precision control. The stator is composed of a core and it has a winding. Okay, the rotor part, okay, comprises of shaft. Okay, it is connected to the shaft, the rotor core and a permanent magnet. It gives digital signals which are in proportion of rotation of the shaft. So students, this we have completed our chapter number 3. In the next lecture we will start chapter number 4, that is our PLC, means programmable logic controller. Okay, thank you.